guys, what is going on, and welcome back to What Shall We Do Next? I'm Mike, your host, and hope you guys are having the best day ever. Before I get started, guys, if you are new here, please subscribe if you haven't already done that. We're on the road to 120,000 subscribers, and I would love you to join me on this journey, so hit subscribe and join the fam. And also, guys, go follow me on all of my social media. Links are in the description. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Snapchat, so go follow me on all of those. And as you guys know, I have a Facebook account, so you can add me on Facebook, and we can be Facebook friends, so go do that. Link is in the description. And finally, be sure to turn on the notification bell right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified every time I upload a video. Thank you. But what is going on, you guys, and welcome back. And today we're doing another creepy story. I haven't done one of these in forever. I stopped doing them because I was starting to get a little bored of doing them every single day. But I have a good one for you, and that's not the only good news. The other good news is that I'm going to be doing them every day this week, and it's going to be a Christmas story since we have 7 days left until Santa Claus comes to our houses. So I figured, you know, it's Christmas, I'm going to mix the horror with the Christmassiness, and we're going to have 7 days of Christmas, and it's going to be freaking great. So today, guys, we're doing a story called Christmas Tree Decorations. Ooh, sounds scary. So basically, the story of Christmas tree decorations is a spooky story about a girl who is home alone on Christmas Eve and has a nasty encounter with a man claiming to be Santa Claus. But enough of the jibber jabber, let's get right over to the story. Christmas tree decorations. It was Christmas Eve, and an 11-year-old French girl named Juliette was decorating the Christmas tree. Her mother was working as a nurse at the local hospital, and the two of them lived alone in the small apartment in the suburbs of Paris. Late that evening, Juliette's mother called to say she would not be home until late. Juliette continued to decorate the tree with all of the lovely things her mother had bought at the shop. She draped some of the multicolored Christmas lights around the tree and hung beautiful ornaments on the branches. After placing the angel on the top of the Christmas tree, she finally finished decorating and sat down to relax and watch TV. Even though she was all alone in the 6th floor apartment, Juliette felt safe as she gazed across the lights of the Paris skyline. From her window, she could see the Eiffel Tower and the Champs de Mars. Most of the other tenants in the building had gone home to spend Christmas Eve with their relatives in the countryside. The apartment building was almost deserted. Juliette was growing bored, waiting for her mother to return. Suddenly, she thought she heard a scratching noise at the front door. She turned down the television and listened carefully. There was an eerie silence. Curious, she slowly approached the door and looked through the peephole. To her surprise, she saw a man standing outside dressed in a red suit with white fluffy trim. He was a large, fat man with a dirty gray beard and wore a red hat on his head. He knocked at the door loudly. Nervous and concerned, she asked through the door, "Who's there?" "It's Santa Claus," the man replied. "Let me in, I'm cold, and I'm tired, and I'm hungry." At this, a chill went down Juliette's spine. She was no dummy. She knew that whoever this creepy man was, he was not Santa Claus. My mother isn't home right now," she said, her voice shaking. "Please leave." Peering through the peephole, Juliette watched as the man's eyes filled with anger and his face twisted into a grimace of hate. He began knocking at the door even harder and rattling the doorknob. "It's Santa Claus, Juliette," he growled. "Have you laid out some milk and cookies for me, Juliette? You know how much Santa loves his milk and cookies." The girl had a sinking feeling in the pit of her stomach. How did he know her name? Then, the man began kicking and pounding the door. She peeked out again and saw him reach into his coat pocket and pull out a switchblade. He shoved the knife into the keyhole and tried to pry it open. Juliette was terrified. She didn't know what to do. "If you don't go away, I'll call the police," she shouted. All of a sudden, the knocking stopped. Juliet stood perfectly still, afraid to move. Minutes passed and she started to think that the man had been scared away by her threat. She slowly approached the door and looked through the peephole to see if the man was really gone. The hallway seemed to be empty. Suddenly, she saw the man running down the hallway with an axe in his hand. Juliet screamed and ran into the closet in a panic. She crouched down and hid behind the coats as tears of fright rolled down her cheeks. She heard the boom, boom, boom as the man tried to bash down the front door. There was a mighty crack as the door gave way, and the man came crashing through the splintered wood. Laughing to himself, he called out, "Juliet, my pretty. Where are you, Juliet? Don't be afraid. We'll have ourselves some fun tonight. Where are you hiding?" The crazed intruder walked around the house searching for the frightened girl. Juliet curled up in the closet, trembling with fear. She dreaded to think what he had planned to do to her. Suddenly, the handle of the closet moved, and then the door began shaking, and she heard the man's voice laughing. "Juliet, I know you're in there," he said. "Open up for Santa. Open up before I open you up." The man swung his axe and struck it at the closet door with a huge bang, tearing into the flimsy wood. Juliet screamed and began crying bitterly. She grabbed a wire coat hanger and twisted it into a point. She waited, her eyes open wide and her hands were trembling. There was another loud crash and the closet door gave way in a hail of splinters. The horrible man tore the doors off their hinges and thrust his head in between the coats. He was laughing and drooling like a madman, and his huge, gnarled hands grabbed the horrified girl. Juliet held up the point end of the coat hanger and bravely thrust it into the man's face. It went straight into his eye. He recoiled in pain, screaming with rage as blood flowed down his cheek. He ripped the wire out of his eye socket and grabbed Juliet by the hair. Then he dragged her, kicking and screaming, out of the closet. The man pushed her to the ground and held her tightly by the neck, leaning over her. Blood spilled out of his eye, splattering all over her face. His mouth twisted into a grotesque smile, and he whispered in her ear, "Tonight, you will be privileged, my lovely Juliet. I've got a list, and I've checked it twice. I'm here to decide if you've been naughty or nice. You can scream and beg for your life, but naughty girls get the axe, and nice girls get the knife." It was after midnight when Juliet's mother returned home. She saw the front door hacked to pieces and rushed inside to look for her daughter. Gazing around at all the carnage, her eyes struggled to take it all in. Then, she began screaming in absolute horror. The Christmas tree was decorated with Julian's entrails, and her severed head was perched on the top. And that is the end of that. Wow, that was pretty messed up. That was disturbing. I actually was starting to hope that she would actually make it and get away from this guy, and then later find out that it was some guy that she knew or something like that. But man, it sucks that she died. But this is a pretty messed up story, but it's definitely a good one. I'll give it that. Like, I thought it was pretty cool with the head on top of the tree, which I don't understand how that could even be possible, because we have like an angel or a star usually for our tree, and it's like paperweight. It doesn't weigh anything, and even that, like on the little spiky bit that sticks out at the top of the tree, it's like it weighs it down and it's like flopping everywhere. I don't know how a human head could sit on the top of that. But my question to all of you guys for question of the day is, what would you do in this situation? You were sitting at home alone, you were like 6 floors up in the air, so you couldn't exactly jump out of the window or something like that. And then you get this knock on the door and it's somebody like a crazed Santa Claus trying to come in and he knew your name and stuff like that, what would you do? Let me know in the comment section. That is question of the day. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button down below if you did, and let's see if we can go for 1,000,000 likes on this video. I would really appreciate that. And if you guys would like to donate to Alexa Nikolas's GoFundMe to support her project, she has to fly to Ethiopia, and she's trying to raise $6,000 to do that. But yeah, if you guys would like to help, the link is in the description, and you get rewards for your donation. If you can't donate but you want to help out, share the link. That's just as much help. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you back here tomorrow with another scary story. And yeah, remember the most important thing. Chase your dreams, guys. I love you all.